Hi everyone, welcome to my video, to my channel. So yeah, I didn't have time to like film and edit, so I'm like, why don't I just go live? It's so easy. But so this video, I'm gonna answer a question from Sophia 1108. And she writes about getting sick at Disney. Did I ever get sick like when I performed Pocahontas or Princess Jasmine? And what did I do? Like, especially if I lost my voice, what then? Was it hard getting time off? And did I just go to work sick? Hi, Leah. Is it Leah or Leah? And Trisha's Oasis. Hey, it's good to start seeing people in the live video. Hi, everyone. Hi. Hi. Oh, this is so exciting. I love chatting with you guys live. It's so much fun. I wish I could have done it sooner. It's been kind of cray. Hola. I caught you. Big hello from Ireland. Yay. Hello to people in Ireland. So awesome. No, so I did get sick at work a few times actually. And one time that's really sticking out to me is when I did perform Pocahontas. I remember I was, hi to people in London. Hey, oh, you slept last week. Oh, thank you so much. Like, wow, yeah, stay safe in Florida. Yeah, there's water sold out everywhere. I tried to go get water this morning. I mean, we have bottled water. I have like 2 cases of bottled water and a couple of gallons, but I want more water. But it's sold out everywhere. So, and it's like, I think especially after what happened in Texas, people here are like really like trying to be prepared. So yeah, we're gonna keep trying to go back to the store for water. Like supermarkets that are usually like dead in the mornings are like the whole entire parking lot is full. I don't even know, are these people like getting off work? I don't know how they're here at the supermarket like crack of dawn, but everybody's getting water. Yeah. Yeah, going to Florida next week. Hopefully just stay away from the Keys, stay away from the South. Yeah. So, Lord willing, we'll be safe, but you just don't know. We got to keep an eye on it cuz it could do a little, we might just, I don't know. We're going to be affected in some way somehow. It's just a question of how much. So, yay, hello to people in England. um Aw. That's so sweet. I'm not sure about this Manny comment. I'm assuming this was some kind of typo on the phone, but we won't go there. Okay, so no, but going back to like getting sick, because this is Sophia 1108's question. Thank you, Claire. So yeah, I did get sick when I was performing Pocahontas, and I remember, I guess I wasn't so sick. It must have been like I was just on the fence because I wasn't so sick that I could call off. I don't know. If I would have called off, there wouldn't have been a replacement and there would have been no Pocahontas at Animal Kingdom. So I think I really, like, I wanted to be there. So I did go in, but I drank a lot of hot tea with honey. I just remember hot tea with honey. I drank it like on my breaks, like the entire break. And it gave me the strength to still have my voice. And then I think I might have called in the next day. So then, yeah, if I would have called in sick to work, sometimes there was not a replacement. And so I remember actually even guests coming up to me at Epcot and saying, "You weren't here yesterday. We really wanted to meet you yesterday." And they didn't have the staff. If they couldn't find a suitable Jasmine at the auditions, which sometimes I guess they couldn't find the right look or whatever. And so then we were just short staffed sometimes and there was not a replacement. So there was definitely, it's hard, so, you feel that pressure to be there. But yeah, but otherwise they usually try to compensate in some other way, like especially at a dining experience, they would bring like Minnie Mouse out in your place or something, but you never wanted Minnie Mouse to go out because, people are paying to see the princesses at a dining experience, and then comes Minnie Mouse and maybe they already met Minnie Mouse. So anyway, let's read some more comments here. Whoa, the comments like went away on my screen. I can't see. Come back. Okay, here we go. Honey is awesome for everything. I agree, Trisha Oasis. I drink honey and hot water and tea on a daily. Awesome. Oh my gosh, you're making me want hot water and honey or tea in my honey right now. I would love to be a Disney princess, but I'm afraid it would ruin the magic. That is a genuine concern. I can definitely see where that would happen. I think you have to be ready for, to a degree, for the magic to be ruined a little bit if you're gonna work at Disney at all. Unless you decide to work like at Disney Springs, or maybe going to apply for a Disney cruise line. That might be a better avenue. Like if you want to be a Disney princess, but you don't want to ruin the parks, like going for a Disney cruise line, or even I don't know. I don't think Disney likes the Disney princess parties thing, but I mean it's one way to keep that line there between like the Disney magic and stuff. So, have you ever had a guest vomit on your costume? And if so, how did you backstage deal with it? Thankfully, nobody ever vomited on my costume. I do know of other people who vomited on costumes, but no, nobody. I did have like a lot of sticky fingers, like at dining experiences, like if they were eating pancakes with syrup, then they would use your outfit would then become their napkin. So then you would have to go on your break, and the character attendant would be in contact with cosmetology, and they would come, and they always have backup costumes, dozens of backup costumes just in case. Oh, Christina, thank you so much. You're so sweet. Do the heel heights vary depending on the height of the girls? I don't know about the depending on the height of the girls so much, but the heel heights, well, like you had a specific costume, and I seem to remember that like Snow White, she wore a specific shoe, and they had that specific shoe in a bunch of different sizes. However, like Rachel Hankel, my friend who performed Snow White, she did say in one of my previous videos that because she is so tall, in fact, she's 5'9", so I believe she is above the height range for Snow White, and she felt a little self-conscious about wearing high heel, because I think Snow White had heels, and she was like, I don't want to be any taller than I already am, so she would wear the flat shoes that Alice wore, if I'm not mistaken. But she looked, so in essence, she took a different character's shoe and wore a different character's shoe because she didn't want to appear taller than she already was. And then also, like myself, I have a size 10 foot, which is large for most girls, you know, like I'm 5'5.5". So a size 10 foot, like I imagine somebody who's 5'8" or taller to have a size 10 foot. But because my foot was so big, I used to actually go to the Aladdin costume area where the Prince Ali costumes were, and I would wear Prince Ali's golden shoes in place of my Princess Jasmine shoes. I know that's so, like, sorry if I'm ruining the magic for any of you guys out there. But yeah, that's what I did because my foot was so big. So was Rachel allowed to do it? I don't know if she was or not, but I mean, when you're going to get your costume, you don't have a manager looking over your shoulders. Like nobody was saying anything. It was just people, the people who work in cosmetology are just people with an hourly wage job, just like yourself. And so you just bring all of your materials to them, and kind of like a library, you scan out your outfit for the day. So I would bring all of my Princess Jasmine stuff, and just like a library book, scan it out, and have it, even the Prince Ali shoes, they never said, oh, what are you doing with Aladdin shoes? They never said anything to me. They just scanned it out to me. And I think if they would have asked, I would have been like, well, my foot's really big. And then they would have been like, well, we got to help this girl. So, okay, fine, take the Aladdin shoes. And they looked identical to the Princess Jasmine shoes, like the golden Princess Jasmine shoes. So, you know, same thing with Rachel. I'm sure if they would have questioned her, she would have been like, well, don't you see how tall I am? And then they would have been like, oh yeah. So, I mean, maybe, and you know what? I feel like a manager probably, had a character manager been there, they would have been like, oh yeah. Like they would have helped her out. Like they would have wanted her, they knew that she was tall, so I'm sure they would have wanted her to wear flats anyway. But that's a good question. I don't know. So I guess it would depend. It would depend on how stickler the manager was, or if I don't know who was in charge. I don't know. Let me see. I'm trying to find your question. Casey Magic Girl, do you go to casting to be a character? Whoa, where'd your question go? Does Disney World help with relocation? I don't know if they help with relocation. That's a great question. Like for example, if like me, if I would have wanted to go and work in Disneyland, I would have had to then leave Disney World and move to LA and totally re-audition starting from scratch to go work in Disneyland. Because that's what a couple of characters did. Like they wanted to live in LA. Like one of the Aladdins I worked with wanted to become an actor. I'm getting some incoming call from New Jersey that I do not recognize. So goodbye, New Jersey person. But anyway, probably some telemarketer or something. But anyway, no, but one of the Aladdins I work with, he really wanted to become an actor in LA. And so he moved to LA and he actually was doing Aladdin in Disneyland. And I think he did a few other face characters too over there. But I mean, they took him right away. So, oh, thank you for thinking my kids are precious. Thank you. They're with grandma right now so that I can film this and be a little bit carefree for a moment. Mary Collins, can you talk about face shapes assigned to characters? Like what makes a girl an Elsa versus a Cinderella? Can face characters wear contacts for their eye color? I'm going to answer the easier part of this question first. Face characters wear contacts for their eye color. I did see girls wearing contacts all the time. It was usually girls who had green eyes who would then wear blue eye contacts to make their eyes blue. Like Cinderella, they really wanted a blue-eyed Cinderella character. Like that was ideal. Man, it's so crazy to hear stories now from rumors that I hear like going on in Disney Entertainment right now, because in my day, Cinderella was Queen Bee. She was everything. And since then, my last day was in October 2009. Since that time, I mean, that's 8 years ago. Wow. Since then, Queen Elsa has become Queen Bee, and then now Princess Elena is a big deal over there from what I'm hearing, especially with all the Latin people who go to Disney World. And they have Elena with Cinderella, and a lot of people like Cinderella, even with my kids, she's not very super popular. Like, anyway, it's just kind of interesting. Anyway, back to Cinderella's eye color. Yeah, so they give girls contacts, but I never saw Disney give a brown-eyed girl like lighter-eyed contacts. So if you were gonna be Belle, for example, they wanted you to have brown eyes. You might have been able to, like a lot of times Belle's also did Jasmine's, but you would never see really a Belle Cinderella, if that makes sense. Like I've even seen Snow White Jasmine's, which makes no sense, but it's happened. I don't know about that's a whole other story. But does that make sense? Like they preferred the darker girls with dark eyes to stay like Snow White's. They never made them be Cinderellas. Like it was usually Aurora's interchanging with Cinderella's, like lighter girls who already had light eyes were the ones using the contacts kind of thing. That I don't know if that's changed or not. But about face shapes, like what makes a girl an Elsa versus a Cinderella? That's a great question, because face shapes, like I didn't work with the Elsas, so I don't know what they're thinking, like what I'm not in their heads right now. But like it was so simple in my day, like Aurora's versus Cinderella's. I don't know, like it's funny because they often made it was very rare that a girl was only Cinderella. She usually was also Aurora, like in my day. So with the Auroras, they wanted a girl with like a longer face shape, somebody who had a lot of angles in her face. The sharp features, what you stereotypically might think of. And Cinderella's, to me, always had a very generic face, a generic pretty face, to where you could just put makeup on her and transform her into Cinderella, if that makes sense. But I almost kind of felt like you couldn't necessarily do the same thing with Aurora. With Aurora, you already needed those super sharp features as a base, if that makes sense. I don't know. That's kind of the feeling I got. I wish Rachel Hinkle was here with me so she could also interject her side too of what she saw. But at the same time, they often would make a girl who was Cinderella also, they would give her Aurora too. It just made it easier within cast because of like that previous question that I was answering about calling in sick. When I called in sick as Princess Jasmine, that's it. Some days there was no Jasmine at Epcot because I called in sick or something like that. So it was really nice and convenient if you could just make the girl who does Cinderella also be Aurora, so that just in case, if they needed her to be Aurora that day, she was trained and she knew how to do the makeup and she could transform herself. So it was a makeup and wigs and all that makes a huge difference. And the fact that she already was, like, if a Cinderella was already in the casting system, or she was already a character trained, she knew all the protocols, it was so easy to just put that wig. And I feel like that's kind of what happened. The longer you are a character at Disney performing a certain princess, the more likely it is that eventually they'll be like, you know what, let's also make her this. So maybe you get hired on as Aurora, but a year later they might be like, you know what, I could see her being Queen Elsa, because something in you showed that to them and you gave the casting confidence to also give you a second role. And so I kind of felt like that's what would happen a lot of times. They knew you. They knew you were a good performer. They knew that once they put the makeup on you and trained you, you were good. Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm going to move on to a different question. Watch those robocalls. They're bad right now. What's robocall? Maybe she's talking to somebody else. I don't know. Let's see, keep going. Cinderella has always been my least favorite princess. 2010, Aveen. I feel you. I kind of feel like she's gone that way. It's so sad in a way because she was like, her castle is here at Disney World. And it's just, we're moving into another era. It's a new generation, and we've got a whole new set of princesses coming out, and so she's not like her. That movie is very slow, in my opinion. It's my sister's favorite Disney movie, but she's also in her 40s. But the movie, the pacing compared to like Moana and Frozen and all that, it's much slower. Did you see the Tangled series? Do you think that the girls who play Rapunzel have to watch it? I mean, if guests ask questions about it and they don't know what to answer. Great point. That's from G11. I don't have cable actually. And so the only reason I saw it was because my daughter, we thought she broke her nose. So we took her to the emergency room. She had tripped and fallen on something. And so we were sitting waiting for the doctor to come see my daughter's nose, and that was what was on TV, was that new modern Rapunzel. And so that's all I know about it, really, was what I saw. It was very action packed, very girl powery, empowering, I felt. But I imagine that they are encouraged to watch it. I don't know. But you know what? I kind of got the feeling when they were training me, like they were more concerned about knowing the movies. The movies were everything. But I imagine that they are encouraged. It's just that might be going above and beyond. Even though they would love that from the person that they have hired, I don't think that they would necessarily require it, but I could be wrong. That's a great question. They never required me to watch the Aladdin TV show. Their biggest concerns were watching the movies. That's what they stressed on me. And the cartoon had already been out. It just wasn't out like the way it is. Like the cartoon was, I think the Aladdin cartoon was out in the 90s and wasn't out when I was performing. I'm so upset, Emma says. I'm so upset because I just looked through all of my old Disney photo books and I couldn't find you in any of them. I know, that's sad. I wish I would have been in them. That would have been awesome. Would have been neat if you were. Yeah, I agree. So Aurora could probably be an Elsa. Probably. That's a great question. I think somebody messaged me that they got hired as as Elsa and somebody else. I want to say it wasn't Aurora. That's a great question. Yeah, but I could see that, but I don't know. They like I just feel like every Elsa that I've met at the Disney theme parks has been tall, like taller than me, and I'm 5'5.5", and I kind of felt like when I was hired, I felt like every girl was my height, 5'5", 5'6", like around there. It just felt like that, except for Rachel, who was 5'9". So you did have your, I mean, we did have taller girls, but it just felt like the majority of the girls were my height. So, which was kind of interesting. We were all of similar. It is interesting to be around. I don't know. It's kind of anyway. Um, but the Elsas are definitely tall that I've met anyway. Hi Jennifer. Washa says, "Hi Jennifer. Awesome to see you. Thunderstorm here. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a bit cloudy out here." Trisha's Oasis. Was there a character that could use their real hair instead of the wig? I never met one. They could have, and Disney still didn't allow it. Like, what if someone is friends with Pocahontas and she already has long, straight black hair? Would she still wear a wig? No, they. I knew a couple of girls who could have. What you would think that they could have used their own hair, but still Disney made them wear the wig, mainly because they wanted they wanted that exactness, exact uniformity between the girls, and so um, I feel like the wig it had a certain part in a certain place, and they wanted the exact hair part, like they wanted everything the same. Leah says, when you worked at Disney as Jasmine, was it uncomfortably HO, which I'm assuming you mean hot? During the summer, it was very uncomfortably hot. So part of me is like, as much as I like the new Princess Jasmine costume, I think it's very bedazzled, like it's blinged out all the way and everything. I feel like, oh, that girl, like she's gonna be hot in the summer. Like I loved on one hand that I was barely wearing anything in the sense that of the heat for the heat. It sucked when you were doing dining because then all the dads wanted to take pictures with you because you were showing off your belly and everything. So I feel like for them in that situation, it's going to be awesome because dads aren't going to care to take pictures with you anymore. So it allows you to put the focus back on the kids. I never really liked taking all the pictures with the dads. Like it was funny at first, but then it becomes like you have to do pictures with dads for every table. Like that got annoying. So I feel like on that sense, the new outfit is going to be awesome for that. But for the summer, I'm like, you poor girl, you're going to sweat, because I was sweating and I was barely wearing anything. When you were Pluto, did you ever go in shows or parades? Yes, I did. I did a lot of Spectro Magic. I did do that. And that was super fun. I mostly remember, like my biggest memories of the Spectro Magic Parade were as Mr. Smee and that little jig. He had a little jig. So even though I wasn't the greatest of dancers, I kind of feel like he was kind of a bumbling fool anyway. So if I like messed up maybe that's why they made me Mr. Smee, was because I was such a bad dancer. And so I made his bad dancing, like it went along with his character looking like a bumbling fool. So my two left feet like worked for that. Like my awkwardness, it just went with Mr. Smee. Maybe that there you go. Now I know. Ivy Clan Moon Blossom. I'm late, but hi Jennifer, I love you. Love you too. That's so sweet. Thank you for coming and joining. Casey Magic Girl, when you work for Disney World, do you pick what park you want to work for? I did not have a say which park I worked for when I first started. I was part-time, and so I was always cast at Magic Kingdom, and then on a whim, 1 month, I think it was around December or January, finally they cast me at Epcot. And when I got a taste of Epcot, I fell in love, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to work here all the time now. And it was the luck of the draw if I got to work at Epcot or not, until I became full-time and got to bid and choose which park I worked at, and that was based off of seniority. So I think when I first became full-time, I was not the one with the highest seniority. So I got a couple days at Epcot and I got a couple days at Magic Kingdom. And then finally my seniority got to the point where I could choose to have all of my time at Epcot. And I eventually made it to where I was always at Epcot, only ever at Epcot. So that was really nice. That was spoiled. What were the Aladdins like? Oh, the Aladdins. The Aladdins were young and single and dating all of the princesses, unless they were not straight, but the straight ones were. I remember like one of the first Aladdins I worked with was he was dating an Ariel in the Hollywood Studios Little Mermaid show. And that was like a big romance drama. And he talked about that all the time. He talked about all the girls he got a chance to. He was Disney College Program, and he was from New Jersey. And so since I was already married at 21, he would just tell me all of his girl drama. So I remember him talking about that mermaid girl, and it was like she was like really cool because she was in a show. She was a singer, and they made a lot more money than like what we did. We just got paid an hourly wage. So she was like this mature girl. So I loved hearing like all the stories of that. And I would kind of like live vicariously through all the drama going on around me. And then he started dating one of the Princess Jasmines. So it was like a real life Aladdin Jasmine behind the scenes love story. And then their romance was filled with drama, and I don't know whatever happened to them as a couple, because then I remember he had to go back to New Jersey at the end of Disney's college program, and I think he would come back seasonally, like for Christmas and stuff, to do little things, but I don't know whatever happened to him. I never kept in touch, but he was fun to chat with. And then just they were loads of fun. They were funny, and they were good friends. They were fun to hang out with. The Aladdins were. I don't know. Like I remember one of my favorite Aladdins. We used to go through Japan after our lunch, right before we would do the Morocco sets, and we would go in Japan and look around the store, and we would buy like little Japanese candy and stuff. And so he kind of got me into some of the Japanese candy, and we would go back with our loot and eat in the break room, watch movies, like a lot of movie watching, I'd say. Oliviero Georges de Cabrera de Chinchon. She's sadly a product of her time, and I hate to say that, though she's always my favorite. Oh, are you talking about Cinderella? Oh, yeah. If you look younger than age, will they still take you? If you look younger than age, like if you look too young. Oh, age limit wise. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they started hiring girls once they turned 19. I felt like they had a sense about the age of I never saw them, and maybe they do hire girls younger than age 19, but I just never saw it happen. But the youngest princesses that I ever met were like 19 years old, and they always looked, I mean, nobody ever looked like a child. They always looked at least like a teenager. But I mean, it was such a generic, like everybody's wearing makeup and you're wearing a wig and costume. I felt like the look of the girls was very timeless. Didn't matter if they were in their 20s, like probably early 30s. I'm not sure. Like the oldest princess I think I've ever heard of is 33. Or was 33. I don't know if she continued working past 33 or if anybody has. They probably go into management or wherever it is if they want to change departments at Disney or whatever. But so they always kind of have this timeless look to them. And maybe once they stop looking timeless, then Disney's like, okay, let's move on. Yo, the Nifty Gamer. Hey, what's up? The Nifty Gamer. Do you have a YouTube channel where you do gaming? What's going on there? Are you in a steam room? My camera is cracked. And there's a big crack over where so I feel like it blurs my my image. So I'm just stuck with it. I would have to buy like a new phone. Like I can't even I went to go and try to fix the glass. It's one of those the Samsung Edge where the glass like wraps around. And I'd practically have to buy a new phone, the cost of replacing the glass. So I was and I didn't get like the insurance plans, shame on me. So anyway, yeah, so I have poor quality video there. Sorry about that. Is this where I find cam girls? What? I don't know about that. A robocall is a phone call that uses a computerized auto dialer. Okay. Thank you, Casey Magic Girl. Awesome. Peter Gill says, I feel the earlier princesses were more story-led from sort of the third person looking in. Oh, I never thought about it. Interesting. That's one of the reasons I love Cinderella. It's on the slower side, Emma says. Love your eyebrows, the nifty gamer. Thank you. That's so sweet. Yay. Meow meow. I don't know about that. I heard Washa says, I heard about Disney having a point system to keep people in check and that it was a flawed system. I remember the point system. Did you have that when you were working there as well? I seem to remember the point system. I don't remember. Thankfully, I didn't really get in trouble. I don't ever remember getting a point. Like, I think you used to get points if you were late or calling in or stuff like that. I would say it was flawed in the sense that I remember girls getting away with murder. It seemed like, there were some girls that just could bat their eyes at management. I felt, and this is terrible to say, like I probably shouldn't even be talking about this, but it's just some people have all the luck, and so I was always well behaved, and I did have my run-ins, like with my eyeshadow stuff, I think, but I didn't get a point for having too much glitter or anything like that. That was just more my little rebellious. I guess that was my way of rebelling, but I never got points for stuff like that. But I felt like I played it safe, but there were some girls that I felt like got away with it, and like they didn't get the points that maybe they should have. Can you share subscribers, please? What does that mean? Do you want me to tell you like who I'm subscribed to? How do you share subscribers? Like, I guess people who I'm subscribed to. I was just watching Carly Bible, she's like a beauty blogger. I like Cutie Pie Marsha, PewDiePie's girlfriend. Like, she has this video where she makes a tent in her bedroom, and I'm like, that is so cute. That is such a cute idea. I feel like I could not film a video about making a tent in my bedroom, and it just wouldn't be as grand as her tent or something, or my video wouldn't be as great as hers. Anyway. Oh, thank you so much, R3AP3RZZ. Thank you so much. That is so sweet. So thank you for saying that. Are you excited for the live action Aladdin? Heck yes! I just posted about it on my Instagram. Some guy, Billy Magnuson, I forget his name, just got cast. He's like this blonde hair, blue eyed guy. Does not look like he belongs in Saudi Arabia, but he got cast to be like, I guess they're going to do some love triangle now. See, I had heard that it was going to be a love triangle between Princess Jasmine and Aladdin and Jafar, because they cast this really attractive guy to be Jafar. It was kind of like, wait a second, that guy is Jafar? But he's way too cute to be Jafar. What's going on? And but now they have this other guy who's like blonde hair. He's cute too. I mean, I've only seen pictures, like I haven't seen video of him, but from the pictures I've seen, he looks like a cutie. And he's going to be competing for Princess Jasmine. His name is Prince Anders, and he's this completely new character. So they're definitely changing up the live action Aladdin movie. And I'm really curious to see how this love triangle goes down. Like, you know how Princess Jasmine didn't seem like, she kind of pretended like she was in love with Jafar in the cartoon version. But so I had thought that she was really gonna actually fall for Jafar in this live action. I don't know. So, and then they also cast some other guy to be Jafar's sidekick. And he actually looks like the cartoon Jafar, of what Jafar should have been. Like, to me, I'm like, why isn't the sidekick guy playing Jafar? Like, I don't know, but whatever. So I'm excited. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Like, what is this story going to be like? It's going to be original, I think. It's going to be different. X Leanna writes, going to throw in my question again. Haha. Do they check for bad vision? And can they end your contract if you can't see well? Think about fur characters, for example. Ooh, good question. Do they check for bad vision? They never checked for bad vision with me. I wear glasses, but right now I'm wearing contacts. Gosh, I wish that now that guy or somebody commented about whether I was in a steam room or not, now I'm really noticing it. but whatever. Um, no, but they never checked to see like my vision or anything like that. But I never showed problems with vision. Maybe they might have if they would have seen me like tripping or falling, or if I would have been talking about it. Maybe that would have raised red flags for them. But what was I gonna say? No, it just I don't I feel like I don't think they would end your contract if you can't see well. Only if it became a real problem. Like if it actually was impacting your ability to work and perform, then I could see it being a problem. Casey Magic says, have guests ever asked you to do anything weird for a photo? Thankfully, they didn't ask me personally. But they would not really, they were limited in what they could ask because during training, character training, you are told what you are to do, like how you are to pose. Like I seem to remember them limiting us to certain poses. Like you couldn't, not that they would limit you. No, I don't want to say that. But like for example, like if guests had beer on their shirt, like Budweiser t-shirts or something, you were supposed to pose with them like to the side so that you would help make it so that Mickey wasn't standing next to like a big Budweiser t-shirt promoting something, that went against whatever Disney stood for or something. Like not that Disney sells beer in their theme park, so it's not like they're against alcohol, but they just don't, I don't think they really want that image of like them being like, Mickey and alcohol doesn't really go together. So they would like train you to turn around, or help pose in a way that was more to the Disney way, if that makes sense. It's kind of how I felt. And then same thing, like if guests had alcohol in their hands, they had to like put it down, like especially during Food and Wine Festival, somebody always had to hold the alcohol so that we wouldn't pose with alcohol or anything like that. So, but as far as like asking, like nobody ever asked me to sign anything weird. Thankfully, it was always normal. But I think I mentioned in a different video, one of the Aladdins I knew, the guest had a fake leg or a prosthetic leg, and he took it off and asked the Aladdin to sign it. So that was kind of interesting. When you were Pluto, blah blah blah. Oh, is the wig heavy or annoying? The wig that I had was not annoying. I didn't think it was almost like wearing a hat, and it wasn't that heavy. It was empty, like it wasn't real hair. There was like styrofoam inside of it. But the new wig that the princess wears, it looks a lot more real. Like it looks like real hair, not like a fake hair to me. If that makes sense. So I feel like it probably feels better, the new wig. I wish Giselle from Enchanted was a character to meet in the park. I've heard rumors it has something to do with a contract with Amy Adams. I could totally see that because she was a real person. Although I did, I know they had the character from Enchanted in parades. Christina says, can you work as a Disney princess for only 9 months out of the year? I don't know how that works, actually. I was seasonal, and I seem to remember them telling me something about like I had to work a certain amount of days in a certain time period. But like for me, since I worked at Disney's Grand Floridian Spa, like once or twice a month, I would give Disney a weekend that I would perform Princess Jasmine. So I did that from '06 to '09. I was seasonal. And so for those 3 years, I would just randomly every month give Disney a day or two to work. So it was really nice because I really enjoyed working at Disney's Grand Floridian Spa. In fact, a lot of characters, once we started to age and like, or we were looking to move on, a lot of them seemed to go to the spa for some reason. I don't know if we were stressed out from the job or what, but like one of the Aladdins, he was my first Aladdin that I ever worked with. He ended up becoming my manager at the Disney Grand Floridian Spa. So that was really awesome. And then, yeah, so I don't know that. And then there was like a Mulan that was my manager. I worked with a Tinkerbell, kind of interesting. Let's see. Do you like Coca-Cola? I'm I'm more of a Pepsi girl, honestly. And I like carbonated water, like the flavored kinds. I don't so much like I don't like Coca-Cola as much as I used to when I was younger. Like I used to really love like Diet Pepsi or things like that. But now I find myself like really drawn to herbal teas, green teas, white teas. Maybe that's a sign of getting older. I don't know. Who was your favorite fur character to be? Who would you have wanted to play that you weren't cast for? My favorite fur character to be was it was Friar Tuck. Friar Tuck was one of the first fur characters that I ever performed, and you should Google the image of Friar Tuck. He is this terrible looking character. He's really like nobody even knows who he is in the theme park. So, well, first of all, his costume, like the head that he wears, is super light. Doesn't hurt your head. Like some of the costume heads could be very heavy and hard on your neck and back. But it was just a nice little light head, and he had this big robe that he wore, but it was like a nice breezy type robe for the heat. And there was like a hula hoop, like stuff inside that made him appear fat, but really there was just a bunch of air in my costume, so it was so nice and breezy during like really hot time, or like time whenever there was a breeze in the air, it would like circulate in my outfit, and I loved it. So I was super comfortable in it. I had no line because nobody knew who I was. And even when I did get somebody, I remember this little kid ran up to me and he was like, "Oh, I want to get your autograph." And his mom like yelled, "Get away from that ugly character. We don't even know who that is. Get over here. Mickey's over here." And like yanked it, like he yanked the pen out of my hand and he ran away. And I never got to finish signing his book. So like, but it was awful. Like she called me an ugly character. Like, and so, but it was so, it kind of, I don't know, it kind of sucked for Friar Tuck, but like me, and I remember kind of feeling sad because you feel like you're a Friar Tuck at the time. And I was like, oh, I'm an ugly character, but nobody likes me. But at the same time, it was great because I had freedom to walk around and I could play with guests in the park. I could do things and dance, and I was like free. Whereas all the other characters were super popular, but they had an hour long line of people wanting to meet them. And so I don't know. I guess I was just like a random. Anyway, I loved being him. I had lots of freedom. So yeah. Okay, let me keep reading. Dawn Fan says, "Hi Jennifer, are you and the family prepared for the storm? Stay safe." We are getting that way. We have a lot of board, like wood, to board up all of our windows, and my husband already has them cut to fit all of the windows. So we just need to. We did it last year because there was another hurricane scare last year that thankfully turned out to be nothing. But you prepare for the worst, you hope for the best. And so we're ready to board up all of the windows if need be. We need more water. Water is sold out everywhere. Everywhere I go, all the parking lots are full of people scrambling to get supplies and water. Thankfully, we have flashlights and batteries. We have a lot of non-perishable goods right now. So, we are hoping that we're as prepared as we possibly can be. And if we need to evacuate, then we will. But hopefully, it won't be that. Hopefully, that won't happen. The last I heard, it was looking pretty good for Orlando, but that could change at any minute. You just never know. Again, preparing for the worst, hoping for the best. So I feel bad for some of the Caribbean islands. I heard that we still have not, like people have not made contact with some of these islands that have been hit already. So I don't, it's kind of scary. So prayers with the islands. So, but yeah. What's the oldest you can work as a face character? That's a hard question. I mean, they have like some older face characters like the villains, Cinderella's stepmom. She, I imagine you can be as old, within reason, to as long as you still look like probably in your 60s. I imagine. I couldn't imagine Cinderella's mom being in her 70s. Like maybe she might look too old at that point, like more like great grandma or something, but 60s I could see And then like there's also Cinderella's fairy godmother, and she's older. So I feel like technically, that's a hard question. But like for stereotypical princess, I think I mentioned earlier, I never saw anybody above the age of like early 30s. Never saw anybody beyond 33 or 35. At that point, they probably start to move into management or they leave departments and stuff like that. Emma OB. Hey, Jen Love from Dublin, Ireland. Thank you for giving us your time and love. Oh, thank you for even tuning in to my channel and for watching. I really appreciate it. Makes me feel special. But thank you. Oh wow, I've been on this thing for 45 minutes. I'll stay for like 5 more minutes maybe, and then I probably should get going. Meow, thank you so much, Meow Meow Gaming. That's really sweet. Teresa Marie, you always have such interesting information. Wow, thanks for thinking it's interesting. To me, it's like, I guess I take a lot of it for granted, and I'm thankful that people want to know and that I have something to share. It's always nice to share something. Why is Epcot better than Magic Kingdom to work at? Oh, where do I begin? Well, it's just, I think personality has a lot to do with it. My dad was in the U.S. Army when I was little, and we were stationed in Germany. So, and then also the fact that my dad is from Colombia. So, hearing a different language in my house versus what I heard in school, like languages, and then living in Germany. I remember thinking when I was learning German in school, because on the army base they had a class, like the teacher said something like, oh, she has a knack for languages, and it's probably because there was a second language spoken in my home. But they put me in a class where half the day was in German, half the day was in English. And I remember thinking, oh, all I need to do is combine English and German. Or I'm sorry, all I need to do is combine English and Spanish and you get German, because the Germans use the male and female, like der and das, like él y ella, So anyway, like I love hearing languages. I love the countries. I like all of those different nations. They just bring me joy. I love talking to those people. Even when I was backstage, like I remember flags, all the different flags from all the different nations were up on the walls in Epcot backstage. It was really clean. The parking situation, like you didn't have to take a bus. Like at Magic Kingdom, you had to park and then get on a bus, and the bus would take you into Magic Kingdom. It would, it was a big to do just to get into Magic Kingdom. And then once the bus dropped you off, you had to walk down a huge long tunnel. Like it was really cool getting on this bus, going to backstage Magic Kingdom. You would have to go over like a moat, a lot of security, and it was really cool going into the tunnels underground in Magic Kingdom. But once the novelty of that wore off, you just want to get to work on time, or so, like me, I can tend to be like, if you give me to the last minute, I will take every last minute. And so I loved that I could just park my car and just run into the building and swipe my card to clock in, and there wasn't like so much stress of like, I didn't have to give myself an extra 45 minutes to get to work, just so I could do all of those other things of riding the bus and walking in the tunnels. And but anyway, so there was the different nations. Oh, and then there was the thing with lunch. Once lunchtime came, you had like 2 hours to eat your lunch, just the way the schedules fell, like with the dining and before you would go into your country. And so I could technically, if I wanted anywhere in Epcot that I wanted to eat lunch at, like some days I'd want to eat lunch in China, some days I'd want to eat lunch at Norway, some days I'd want to eat lunch in Germany, or wherever it was. I could go to any country. Like how I think I mentioned earlier that the Aladdin and I would go on our break over to Japan, which was right next to Morocco, and we would go eat Japanese snacks. Like I loved being able to do that. And technically you could do that in Magic Kingdom, like I remember a lot of times all the princesses would get together and they would go get a swirly or whatever the Dole Whips. They would go get a Dole Whip on their break, and they would go watch the parade on their break or stuff. Or I think I remember doing that too. But I don't know, it just, sometimes you would get recognized out at Magic Kingdom. Like, I don't know, it just, I felt like at Epcot there were a lot of places to go. I remember the one of the Bells, the girl, one girl who performed Belle was super sweet, and she had packed a picnic for her boyfriend who worked in France, and then they were having trouble, and anyway, they ended up not having their picnic. So she shared the picnic with me, but she had this awesome picnic, and we went to this beautiful part of Epcot over by France that like overlooks the lake, and we sat down and we just had this like, I don't want to say we had a romantic picnic together, but it was romantic in the sense because she had packed it for her boyfriend, but or maybe he had to work or something, I don't know. But I don't know, it was just a really awesome experience, like having this picnic overlooking this lake, and I don't know, the weather could just be so gorgeous, and then I don't know, I just loved all the people. There were belly dancers in my break room, and they were really fun and all into makeup. And at the time I was young and I was new to makeup. This world, I don't know, they seemed like these amazing experts. And this, to me, it was before, I think it was before like the YouTube kind of took off. And so before there were like beauty YouTubers where you could go and watch them do this crazy makeup, like I would watch them do this insane like Arabic like gorgeous makeup, and I remember watching that, like thinking that they were so cool. And then like the musicians, there were a lot of musicians at Epcot, and so I was always seeing, I don't know, that stuff just made me so happy, like seeing musicians doing their thing. Like where else can you go to work and you see musicians, you know, like artsy type jobs, like actually earning a living performing. I don't know that. So I just loved being in that environment. I don't know if that makes sense. People were so cool. Like the foreigners were so fun. Like it was exciting. Like they were from this completely different country, and they could tell you all about their country. And did a kid ever ask you to kiss Aladdin, and did you do it? Thankfully, no kid ever asked me to kiss Aladdin. I did have a couple of times where the Aladdins would kiss me on the cheek. The Aladdins were super respectful because they knew I was married, and I was happily married. Like I was young and married, and so I think they were loving, like almost like a brother type, you know, like, oh, like maybe that was a little too much, like, but I don't know, but it did kind of make me a little uncomfortable, like, hey, let's not go too far, you know, but I do remember a couple of times on set, like in a parade one time, the Aladdin like kissed me on the cheek, but it was like perfect the way he did it. Like I remember all of the guests who were watching the parade were like, oh, like, and they thought it was awesome. I remember the management was like, good job. Like, I don't know, they loved it. Like however he did it, he was so suave about it. Like he did a great job. Yeah, so that's the Aladdin who ended up moving out to LA to go become an actor, or I don't know. He does a lot of fitness stuff now, but I remember that scenario. So, and he I mean, it was nothing. It wasn't like that. But do you have ceiling fans in your house? If you do, can you show me them? I don't have, this is the dining room, which we're talking about turning this dining room maybe into an office for me, like a YouTube office. It wouldn't be in the near future anytime. But because the office that we have, it's over there. There's a lot of kids' toys like on the floor. I need to my kids don't even need that walker. Oh yeah, look, there's a little road on my husband like made some cardboard boxes. He turned cardboard boxes into cars, and he made this like road in our house for the kids to run in cardboard boxes. That's kind of cool. Like he put me to shame. Like I'm the mom. I'm supposed to be the one doing the crafts and the cool stuff, but I don't know. He did it. So anyway, let me see. Did you ever get a chance to make a guest stay even more magical? Gave them a fast pass or a hug? I didn't have the power to give fast passes. That would have been awesome. Or a hug when they really needed it. Yeah, I do remember I gave hugs to everybody. I don't think anybody escaped me without a hug. Aside from brightening their day with your personality, of course, so sweet. Probably like from watching Full House so much as a kid, you know how Danny Tanner, the dad, used to hug everybody. I feel like I got that from him. Like if I took one thing away from Full House, it was the hugging. You hug people. In fact, when I run into people at Disney World who I meet, a lot of times I ask them for a hug. Even if they don't ask me, like I'm like, "Can I hug you?" Like I need to hug you. So because I don't know if I'm just excited that they recognized me from YouTube or what, but yeah, the image is blurry. It's okay. You can still make things out. Sorry. Um Jen, does Disney have any opinion on your channel or on me speaking out? That's a great question. Um, Thankfully, they have never reached out to me. They have never said jack to me. Um, Probably because the time that I worked there, we didn't have the social media issue. Um, but I've noticed now that there's more girls posting videos about their experience as a Disney princess. So I'm kind of like, oh no, I've got competition. Like what? Like no, but no, it's cool. I'm happy that they are posting about their experiences. So good for them, and so you'll probably maybe you want to go check them out and see what they had to say, because they were one of the girls I saw. It looked like she did Ariel, so that's like that's a whole different experience from me having done Princess Jasmine. It's She might have a different view. I'm sure she does have a different way of looking at things. Like, I'm sure it was different for them. But what's the weather like in Florida? In the beginning, March is Disney World very busy. March is Disney World very busy. March, I don't remember Disney being very busy. I feel like I love to go in the month of March because it's not very busy and the weather is beautiful, and it's right on the brink of before it starts to get hot. Like March is the last month, like, because it gets cold in January, and even in February you've got some chilly days. But come the month of March, the weather is perfection. It's just beautiful. And like there's this this day in March, I went on a Wednesday in the month of March, and the lines were super short, and me and this one mom friend of mine went with our kids, and we had a blast. And it was during a time where like going to Disney with my kids for me was stressful, and just alone, like I usually wanted a helping hand, but I made it all through Disney and I had a blast. And it was just, the weather was perfect. Like things like that make a difference. If you're stressed out already, like you need good weather. Don't make it sweltering hot, because then it's just going to be like, what are we doing here? It is way too hot to be out in this heat, especially with little kids. Like you don't need more stress. So, have you ever been to Disneyland Paris? No, I wish. Do you have a memory from working at Disney that sticks out more than others? Oh, I have a lot of well, let's see. It kind of depends on the day what memory sticks out more than another. Let's see what memory is sticking out to me right now. Oh, you know what? Yes, there was a day where Disney asked for me to do a photo shoot for Tokyo Disney. I was approved for media. I didn't always do media. In fact, that was the only time I remembered ever doing media, and I'm so thankful that I even got the chance to do a media event. So it was essentially like a commercial photo shoot, and I was dressed up as Princess Jasmine, and they told me that it was going to be used near a restaurant, but I never saw it, and they said it was going to be used in the Tokyo Disney theme park. And so that was probably back in 2008 or 2007 that this happened. And I had to stand in the Norway restaurant next to a bunch of food. And maybe it was going to be at a restaurant in Norway, or in Tokyo. It was going to be at a restaurant in Tokyo. I don't know, but they had a whole bunch of food prepared at a table, and I was standing next to it posing. So maybe, I don't know, does anyone know anything about a feast in Tokyo? I never looked it up. I don't know. But it was so amazing to stand there and pose, and I had to take direction from some director who was overseeing the photo shoot. I was really sad that Rachel Hinkle, my friend who performed Snow White, was not in the photo shoot with me because she was working that day with me, but they didn't need Snow White. In fact, in Tokyo Disney, I'm told that Jasmine is one of the more popular characters, probably because of her ethnic, like, you know, some people might argue that there's, I don't know. Anyway, in the Asian country, you know, Jasmine is pretty popular over there. Maybe the dark hair, I don't know, but they didn't need Snow White for whatever reason, and I just remember feeling so sad that Rachel Hinkle wasn't experiencing this with me. Like, I really wanted her in the picture. Like, I'm like, why can't Rachel and Hinkle and I have this together? And so, you know, she didn't, you know, but it's cool. I got to do that experience, and I remember feeling really nervous. So, yeah. I lived in Florida for 3 years and went to Disney over 100 times. Have you noticed a decline in the quality of food and increase of people? I have noticed a huge increase in people. The quality of food, I mean, I always, when I'm at Epcot, I always eat at Morocco, the Tangerine Cafe. I feel like that place is my diamond in the rough. It is the hidden secret, and I eat there all the time, and I love them. Like, I don't feel like their food has declined, but, and you know, I don't know. Those burgers have always been pretty juicy to me, so I don't know. But I'd say the popcorn has declined. It's really salty now. Whenever I've gotten popcorn, they like over butter it, and I don't know. And they served, that's another reason I loved Epcot. Backstage at Epcot, I don't know if they still do this, but there was like there's this little library room, and they would pop fresh popcorn for free. And it was like one of those legit popcorn machines, and they had like the cardboard thing. You could come up and serve. It was self-serve, so you could unlimited. Like, I could have popcorn all day, every day, and they didn't butter it or salt it, and it was just fresh, natural, low calorie. Like, that is what I lived on that stuff for snacks when I was working in the Norway restaurant, because it was over there. Once I was at Morocco, I couldn't go get popcorn. But yeah, so, hey Jen, hey Leah. Melissa Whalen says, I didn't realize this was actually live. OMG, what's up? Yay, it is live. Oh, thank you, Claire, for saying that. You're so sweet, Claire Wallace. What's up to you? Princess Jasmine is my all-time favorite. Woohoo! I was obsessed growing up. Oh, that's so awesome. Hey, Haria Saeed. What's up? Where are you from? I'm so curious. Trisha's Oasis. Why would they want a love triangle? Now I have really high expectations, changing the plot and all. I know. Leah May says, so you said you worked with the Genie and Jafar character when you were Jasmine. I did, especially in the early days, like 04, 05, 06. I worked with Jafar like almost on the daily. Especially, like, I guess towards the end, it felt like they were only bringing Jafar out for like special events like Halloween. I don't know. I kind of, you know, I feel like however much money they're making, like, I feel like 09, wasn't that around the time that our nation started to go into kind of a recession, and Disney started laying off a lot of people. They weren't hiring a lot of characters. So like some of the lesser characters like Jafar, you know, people aren't lining up to see Jafar necessarily, but they would line up for Aladdin or Jasmine. I kind of felt like they started to go away once we got into the recession, and it's just a question of, I don't know if they're going to bring them back ever. I don't know. Maybe they feel they do fine without them. But at the time when I got hired, I mean, Disney had all kinds of characters. Like, I felt like they had so many, and then they started to cut back. But it was super fun working with, when I had an Aladdin, a Jafar, and a Genie. I mean, it was just one big party out at Magic Kingdom, and we used to stand over in front of the, well, it's now a restaurant. They've turned it into a restaurant. It's like the seating area for waiting to be called on. Outside of the Swiss Family Treehouse Robinson Treehouse, Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse. And they, yeah, we used to stand out there, and it was just a big party. I don't remember, like, we were always like, Jafar, you know, I don't know, you're so evil or whatever. Or just, you stay over there. I don't know. We were kept so busy with guests too, like, you know, signing autographs and interacting with the kids and really trying to focus on talking with them. And occasionally the Jafar would come up to us and be really mischievous. And I remember Aladdin. That's why I loved working with Aladdin. He did all the hard work, like the improvisation. Like I felt like every Aladdin was so quick, so witty. And I don't think that they knew that they were hiring such witty people. I think they were just hiring good performers who looked the part, and it was just a bonus because they didn't like screen you for your acting abilities. It's just so random that they were just awesome. I guess they kind of like, they teach you like what to say to Jafar and stuff like that. There's these little one-liners that they give you, but I don't know, some of the Aladdins were just, their improv skills were so amazing. And so I remember Aladdin bantering back with the Jafar and the genie a lot. And I mean, I would say little nice things too. Oh, genie, or just whatever. It was like, it was very like in the moment. How do you think your daughter will react when she finds out you played Princess Jasmine? That's a great question, Emma. I wonder about that myself. I'm kind of enjoying the fact that she believes in them to be their own person. Like she really thinks they're real, kind of like Santa Claus type thing. And I don't want to spill that. I don't want to ruin that for her yet. And she has seen pictures of me as Princess Jasmine. And I'm like, who's that? Who's that, Ariana? Like hoping she'll recognize me, but she doesn't. She's like, that's Princess Jasmine. Like, and I'm like, oh, yeah. Like, you know, that's not mommy. No, that's not mommy. That's Princess Jasmine. Looks like, in her mind, we look nothing alike. Like, and it's like, oh, okay. Well, one day maybe she'll get it, but now is not that day. She's only 3.5, and I'm really enjoying her believing in Princess Jasmine. And so, you know, she has, like, she sees me editing videos for YouTube sometimes, like when she wakes, because I try to edit like while she's napping, or just, you know, when I'm not around, like after they go to bed at night, I'll try to edit. And she yeah, so she'll see me editing, but she doesn't know what it's about. A lot of times I'll have headphones in while I'm editing, so she doesn't hear what's being talked about. But oh my goodness, I've been on here for 1 hour and 7 minutes, and I still have like chores to do around the house and things like that. So I think I'm gonna let you go. But oh my gosh, I don't want to let you go. You guys have such great questions, and I'm having so much fun chatting. Did any cast member, I see, here I am reading another question. This is from 2010 Aveen. Did any cast member you know get fired? If so, do you know why? I don't remember right now of a cast member getting fired. I remember hearing that before, like when I was newly hired, I had heard a rumor that one of the Aladdins had gotten fired, but I think he was just like showing up late all the time, not really respecting the rules of Disney. Like, just, I think it was consistently breaking protocols and just consistently misbehaving. So he probably didn't even care that much, you know. So I heard he got fired. What I did see more often than getting fired, you know, because people loved their job. Like, if you got hired as a Disney character, you loved your job and you loved being there. You wanted your job. Like, you didn't want to leave. You didn't want to get fired. Like, that was very, very, very rare that you had bad behavior. Like, there were definitely some people who got away with stuff because they could bat their eyelashes and get their way, because some girls just had that about them. Like, but for the most part, people were very respectful and very good employees. And so anyway, what I did see was girls who would get disapproved as being a princess. So like, if they gained too much weight, they would take away their princess role and be like, you have to do fur characters until you lose that weight that you gained, because we hired you at a certain weight. We expect you to maintain a certain physical appearance. So I remember that, and I remember just like sometimes the higher ups in Disney would get angry at casting because they would cast girls who didn't look so much like a Disney princess, and I've gotten emails from you guys like upset because you guys will private message me in a direct message on Instagram, and you'll be like, why is this girl a princess? Tell me why this girl is cast as a Disney princess. She does not look like so and so. And I have no words. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, but they, like, remember how I said that there were days where I would call in as Princess Jasmine and there would be no Princess Jasmine that day, and they would need to pull a Minnie Mouse to be, to go and fill my void or whatever at a princess rotation or dining rotation. Well, that's, sometimes they just need a girl to be Aurora, and they would hire this random chick who maybe they didn't really want to hire her, but that's what they had to choose from. I don't know. But all I know is that all of a sudden the higher ups in Disney would come looking around, and they would see that there were some that didn't really look like Aurora, or they didn't really look like so and so, and they would clean house, and all of a sudden you would see all these girls crying because all of a sudden Disney had cleaned house. So I don't know. I probably shouldn't be talking about that. That's kind of like that's more something behind the scenes that I probably would have, like, that's the thing about going live. I say things that maybe I should not be talking about, that I might otherwise keep quiet on. But I don't know. That maybe that's not so bad. I don't know. But anyways, so don't watch my videos if you don't want to know too much. So sorry about that. Anyway, so I guess I'm going to say bye-bye. Thank you so much, Teresa Marie, for saying your daughter and son are so cute, and Kiki for saying you like my videos. That's kind of sad for the girls cleaning house. I know, yeah, I know, totally. Bye, Jalen. Did Disney ever relook my face? Thankfully, they just told me I was getting old. So I am much happier that that was really nice of them, because I don't think I could have taken it if they would have told me, you don't look like Jasmine anymore. Like, I much prefer them to tell me that I was old. So yeah, bye everyone, and hopefully I can do another live video soon, so keep an eye out, and hopefully this storm is nothing. And I'm sorry if, bye Belinda, you're live with me. Belinda, you've been around since the beginning. Hugs to you. But bye to everyone. I wish I could call out all of you guys. But thank you so much for watching my videos and my channel, and I appreciate you taking time to comment and write me, and I'm so sorry that I don't comment back individually to everybody, but you can best believe my heart is there with you guys. So bye everyone.